Hi, Paul Slack. It's Good News Planet here with Dr. Kazuko Tatsumura. Hi, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Okay, great, good. I'm very excited to be here with you because you're doing so many wonderful things. We met at a Jim Lewis Orphan Organization event, and you're so involved with orphans and humanistic outreach, entertainment, and education and holistic practice. And creating something wonderful in Long Island, and it goes on and on. And so, give us a little bit about your background, and our audience is very fortunate to hear about you.
Thank you so much. I was born in Kyoto, Japan, in an very old family, well-known family, and I was the second of the 8 children. And then I was always very outgoing person who did not fit into Kyoto women's society. So I jumped out and I was a pianist, and then I came to America through invited by Boston Symphony. And then when I came to America, my piano was not good enough, so I became a impresario. And then in 25 years, I did impresario. I went to 148 countries, 2,000 events each year, and the many, many big things I did. But I introduced many of the unknown cultures from all over the world into West, and the West to East. Those are the kind of thing I did until 1992. And then I became a doctor.
Oh my God! All right, and a doctor of?
Doctor of holistic medicine.
Okay, what's holistic medicine mean to you?
We actually respect and admire our own healing power, and then we try to promote our own healing power through the law of nature.
Okay, the law of nature. Now that's interesting as well. So what is the law of nature?
Law of nature means that we are born in this mother planet Earth, and the mother planet Earth is a part of the big universe. And the universe is part of our, some people call it God, but universal energy is where we are born with. And then it comes into Gaia, which is Mother Planet Earth. And Mother Planet Earth has all kinds of rules and regulations according to this Mother Planet law of nature. And basically, what I want to make it a very short sentence, I would say polarity, yin and yang, plus and minus, everything is in this Gaia is to do with balancing this polarity. And then in our body, you have to find yin and yang, and then everything has to be balanced.
So how does somebody go about doing something like that? How does
in
somebody...
what sense?
In the sense of, well, let's say the physical sense,
Yeah.
right? How physically does somebody make their body in tune with our planet?
Okay, you have yin quality and yang quality in your body. And certain organs are yin organs, certain organs are yang organs. And in fact, your mind also yin and yang. And man and woman is yin and yang, yang and yin, and then your body is yang and yin. So balancing autonomic nervous system we live with, it has within autonomic nervous system yang type and yin type, sympathetic and a parasympathetic. And if you balance those sympathetic and parasympathetic, you are balanced being physically. So very often, if let's say you are a very big workaholic, you're working very hard, running it, all that things. These are yang type of personality. And the yin type person is, let's say, couch potatoes. You're sitting around and a little bit lazy, but both has a very good qualities. But if you have too much yang and then too little yin, and then too much yin and then too little yang, it's no good. So you have to balance this. This is a part of yin and yang balance of the body. you have to go through autonomic nervous system, and which comes back into what I'm doing in holistic healing. But when you balance autonomic nervous system, yin and yang, you have immune system, or your healing power is very strong.
So, how do you in your own life? How do you balance your because you have so many projects, you have important projects, you have many good friends in very, I'll say, good high places, because they're very well respected, and that's what I think is a good high place, from the Dalai Lama and Mother Teresa, and you, Pavarotti, and you've known so many wonderful people. And how do you stay balanced?
Well, I am very young type of person. You can see I am doing always getting things done and things like that. So, most important thing is meditation. To me, my personality needs meditation at least 1 hour a day. So I am getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30 to 6:30 I am in meditation. Without this, I think I am not balanced.
Okay, you found your way. Tell us about the orphanage in Tibet.
Yeah, orphanage, actually it's a border of India and China. And this is end of Tibet, old Tibet, end of old Tibet. It is called Tawan, and in Anachapraprasiti district. It's in the Himalaya. When Dalai Lama came down from Rasa, they came this route, arrived Tawan. And Tawan is the most interesting little village. Dalai Lama VI was born there, and a very important monastery, Dalai Lama V. Dalai Lama V was one of the most important Dalai Lama. His monastery there. It was the second biggest monastery in the whole Tibet, used to be. So when these Chinese was occupying, coming down, the Indian soldiers, an army took around that village, which is kind of a little sticking out of Tibet. And they surrounded so that this village was saved. And in other words, its border is Chinese, and the Bhutan on the left, and then on the west, and the Myanmar on the east. So this is a pocket of village of Tibetan, very, very strong Tibetan traditional village. And there were quite a few Tibetans came out of Tibet from China. And in fact, many of the children were, I was told, put in a truck, in a haze, hidden by the truck, and went through the Himalaya borders. Now, the reason they took the risk of life, because parents were trying to help the children to get the real education. In China, they refused to give a Tibetan education. So these are the kids which came out, and they were on the street of Tawan. And then this young monk, Ramatopten Punjok, decided to have the orphanage from there. And there was a little hut which had no water, no heat, no electricity, and it started with 18 children. Now it's 254 children, and they are taking, this village is very poor because there is no industry, no Chinese industry, no Tibetan, it's isolated from Dharamsala also. Therefore, they are poor, very poor, and a lot of children were there.
And you've helped them.
Yeah.
You know, in addition, we're here in New York right now, and sort of the Upper West Side, and I happen to live here as well. So there's a beautiful, beautiful landmark building that you went to bat for. You kept the Beacon Theater alive and well, It's one of the most magnificent theaters in New York.
Yeah.
And where did that passion come from?
Well, actually, I was doing when I was doing about 2,000 events a year, I told you, there was Nikolai and Marie Louise dance company I contracted to do the New York show for 2 weeks. And then there was no theater. So I went to the Beacon Theater. Somebody told me there's Upper West Side, there's a Beacon Theater. So I went down, there was terribly run down theater, but I said, well, we'll sign up a contract. So I paid a $10,000 deposit, and this was in June, and the presentation was in October. And then when I came back from summer, the theater was boarded. And then I said, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So they said, well, the leaseholder ran away. And I thought he was the owner. He said, no, he was just a leaseholder. So I tried to find it because of this. I tried to find it. And then when I found Mr. Moskowitz is a Beacon Hotel owner, they said they are the one who owns the Beacon Theater. And I said, you cannot. And they had this plan, already blueprints, and they were going to tear down the theater. And I said, you cannot tear down this beautiful, beautiful theater. Please, don't tear it down. And then I went to Moskowitz, and he said, well, partners wants to tear it down, and it's more lucrative spot. Those days. So I said, no, you cannot tear this down. You don't know the history. I am from Japan and I know the history, how important the human history is. So I said to him, how about if I take it over? Take it over the lease. So I took over the lease. And then this was so difficult. One day, I had a Lenny Bernstein coming on Sundays, very often, bagels and rocks and bagels and piano. I used to play the piano. And then I said to Lenny, I want to save this theater. Can you help me? He said, yes. And he picked up the phone and he called the Princess Grace. And Grace, I have a friend who wants to help the theaters to. So I said, okay. Princess said, yes. So I said, oh my God. So he would become a chairman of the foundation, and I quickly made a foundation, and she became a chairman of the foundation. And we had thanks to her, we had the most glorious beginning of the artist sign up, and then I raised just only $2 million, but it was enough to start saving the theater. And then I made a landmark. And then all this time I was being sued all the time by one of the owners. But anyhow, I managed to survive, and I made a landmark. And then I was taking the theater to be as a leasee, 15 years lease. Every month I could not pay. And then they will bring the eviction notice. And then I ran to Mr. Moskowitz and said, he will tear it down and for me. And it went on. And then, to make things short, I discovered if you have just even 1 or 2 shares of the Beacon Hotel, I could have a voice. So I struggled to buy into the Beacon Hotel, so that theater is saved. I was doing this all for the sake of the theater.
That's beautiful. Thank you. I walk by it every day because I live right near there.
Yeah,
and
you
I
should
walk
go
down the
in
street.
there.
I've been in there many. I've been many shows in there. In fact, my friend Carol Burnett, whose TV show I worked on back in CBS days, she's doing a show every week. They have something good going on.
Yeah, I ran that theater for 3 years with tears and blood, but then at the end, that Madison Square Garden came in, and it spent $17 million to make it beautiful. So it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. Let me ask you 2 last questions. We could talk forever and ever, I know, because you have just so much to share. I'm going to ask you 2 last questions. One is, what's good news for you?
What's good news? You mean today?
Today, at any moment, right now, later, before, future?
Every day I'm happy. That's what the good news is. And the reason people say, why are you so happy every day and there's so many things doing? And I say, because I let the universe take where I'm going to be, I'm supposed to be. I'm guarded by universe.
Last question, because we're very involved with the International Day of Peace, September 21st, and I've asked thousands of people, what does peace mean to them? So, what does peace mean to you?
Peace is inner peace. I think each one of us has to have an inner peace, and the peace comes with compassion. And the compassion means, compassion means really to be able to think not just for the others, to be able to become in place of that other person. Inside, you have to get inside of that person. That is a compassion. Otherwise, you can be a pitying. Pity and the compassion are very, very dangerous, paper thin, dangerous. Pity is not right. Pity or thinking about very sad thing, or compassion. Compassion is to be able to become that person or that cockroach or that ant. Everything is living, and it's a respect for the others, life force. And then when you have that, you have a peace in your mind, I think. And the international world peace, it is the most important thing, is a compassion, and to be able to think others. Then you don't fight. You fight only maybe for survival sometimes, but people are misunderstanding survival with conquer. Conquer and survival are totally different things.
Thank you so much. You're really brilliant and beautiful and caring.
Thank you so much for coming out.